The frontman of Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, is in a little bit of hot water after he went on an anti-war rant during one of his concerts in England. Now, this was on July 11th. We have the video for you. Let's take a quick look.
So what the fuck? What the fuck? We're gonna have this many people having a peaceful time. We can have modern technology. We can reach our friends. They know what we're thinking before we're thinking it. The advertisers know what we're thinking before we're thinking it. We have technology. All this is in our hands. But at the same time, as something like this, there's positive is happening. At the same fucking time, not even that far away, fucking dropping bombs on each other.
So he mentions countries dropping bombs on each other. As you guys can see, he didn't name any specific countries, but he's just trying to make a point about war and how ridiculous it is that we've advanced so much when it comes to technology, yet we can't find peace between certain countries, okay? So that's the first part of his rant. Let's go to the second part.
Again, if war is the last resort, if it's incumbent on your side, I get it. You want to be in that situation. But I swear to fucking God, there's some people out there who are looking for a reason to kill. They're looking for a reason to go across borders and take over land that doesn't belong to them, and they should get the fuck out, mind their own fucking business. Live our lives, have our children, eat, procreate, draw a painting, make some art. Listen to music, fuck some more, have another baby, eat, work, love.
According to the Jerusalem Post, that was his anti-Israel diatribe.
He didn't even say Israel, he didn't say Gaza, he didn't say any of that, right? So, wait. Do you think, if you're the Jerusalem Post, that Israel crossed someone's borders and took their land? You must think that. That's why you thought it applied to you, right? So if you, okay, then I guess then you would be offended because he's pointing out that you crossed borders and took their land. If you claim that's not what happened at all, as some people are saying now, no, what are you talking about? It's not even an occupation. Okay, then I guess you have nothing to be offended about. He's probably talking about something else, right?
Right. Well, given what's been happening in the news, I mean, it was clear what he was talking about. So obviously they're going to be paranoid that that's what he was referring to, and that was what he was referring to. Now,
probably.
Yeah, and okay, so there was another individual in Israel, someone by the name of Ben Red, who's a disc jockey in Israel, and he wanted to also make a comment about this. Now, keep in mind that he's a huge supporter of Pearl Jam. He actually started an online, petition type thing to kind of get Pearl Jam to perform in Israel. And after that speech or that rant that Vedder gave during his performance, here's what Ben Red had to say. He said, "Eddie Vedder, your true face is finally being revealed. You are invited not to come here."
Oh, wow, that'll show.
"I personally do not want to see you, and I will erase the Facebook page calling on bringing Pearl Jam to Israel, but not before I expose who you really are."
A guy who's in favor of peace. How dare you? The whole rant was about why are we killing each other, right? Why do we have this war? Why are we on other people's land? And of course, that's where the problem is. So, but again, I've got to ask the supporters of this right-wing government of Israel, do you want to hold on to the West Bank and Gaza Strip? Do you think it's your land? So that's the question that's never answered, right? So wait. If it's your land, why don't you admit it and say, yeah, I'm never going to give the Palestinians freedom. They're just my subjugated, people that happen to be living there. I'm going to control their lives, and that's my land. It's my land that they're sitting on. Say it if that's what you think. Or if you don't think so, and you think, no, we're going to get to a two-state solution. That is Palestinian land. They live there, obviously. And a lot of Israelis, I would say maybe even a majority of Israelis believe that, right? Well, then, okay, then it is incumbent upon you at some point to stop occupying that land. Now, it gets complicated at that point, obviously, right, as to how you're going to get to that solution and how you're going to get to peace. But Vedder is obviously not in favor of war. He's in favor of peace. It's not like he's in favor of peace only for Palestinians. He's in favor of peace for everybody, including the Israelis.
In general, yes.
And that's somehow interpreted as, no, he's anti-Israel.
I know, it's incredible. And it goes back to the whole issue of shutting the conversation down. So you can't really come up with a solution. If you're not allowed to point to the flaws or the wrongdoings of an entire side of an argument or a conflict, then you're just not going to come to a conclusion. It's impossible, right? Now, Eddie Vedder did respond to the criticism in a blog post, and I want to read you a piece of that. But again, he didn't mention Gaza, he didn't mention Israel, none of that was mentioned in his piece. He said the following: when attempting to make a plea for more peace in the world at a rock concert, we are reflecting the feelings of all those we have come in contact with, so we may all have a better understanding of each other. That's not something I'm going to stop anytime soon. Call me naive. I'd rather be naive, heartfelt, and hopeful than resigned to say nothing for fear of misinterpretation and retribution.
Hell yeah.
I love it. He's strong. And you know, obviously this is not a First Amendment issue. The government's like not coming after him for what he said. But you know, for those of you who believe in freedom of expression, this is his expression. You shouldn't try to shut down political speech regardless of how much you dislike what someone has to say. And what he said there wasn't hateful. What he said there wasn't even controversial. The fact that people are making it controversial shows you how far we are from coming up with a solution when it comes to the conflict in Israel.
And look, I get that people get touchy about this because it winds up becoming an identity issue, but you also have to recognize that that's not the intention here of people like Eddie Vedder. What they're talking about is criticizing a government, if that was actually his intention, because again, he still never said Israel or Gaza. But let's assume that it was, right? So we criticize the government of America all the time. So if Eddie Vedder said, hey, America, get the fuck out of Iraq. Why are you starting wars? Which, by the way, his speech applies more to us in Iraq than it does to Israel and Gaza, right? I'd say, hell yeah, it doesn't mean he hates me as an American. Okay, it means he's criticizing my government, and he's pretty correct.